Hello, everyone. Just want to let you know because I'm traveling down to Portugal for the Portuguese conference. So this week, our Worldscope Mundane Astrology discussion will move to next Friday on the 16th of May. But today, as I'm here, and yesterday we just have a new Pope being elected. So I want to talk about the view chart related to the new Pope, Leo XIV, and also something related to fixed star and astromap. Okay, should we begin? So, previous Pope, Pope Francis, was passed away on Easter Monday. There was a quite kind of shocking news, and I make a short video talk about the moment he passed away. All I know was on ascendant, and my colleague Louisa Asencourt mentioned about he is kind of a very Iranian type of a pope, and his a lot of things are very unconventional and unusual, not following the tradition. And during the election of a pope, they call it a conclave. Um, there was a lot of discussion about who will be the new pope, and what kind of policy he has, And now we have this first pope from United States. That was kind of something. We know that situation in the United States is a very, very different from the United States. We know, but nowadays this pope sounds like a quite also kind of a following the Pope Francis footsteps, and but exactly how he carry out his mission, I don't know, but we will see. But today I'm going to talk about few chart, like the moment of a conclave and also the inauguration of the Pope Leo XIV. Okay, so let me begin. Let me share my chart with you. Oh, have you noticed this? I just wear a lion t-shirt, Leo t-shirt. I don't know. It's really, really synchronicity. I have to say it's quite funny because when I pack my bag to come to Portugal, I just like pick up few things, and I really have no idea he is going to choose the name Leo, and I just find this shirt. Well, I just wear it. Okay. Well, sorry. Let me go back to my chart. So the chart we are going to see now is the first one. First chart was the chart of a conclave. This chart was the timing at the moment they shut the door. Many different astrologers choose the different timing. Well, some astrologers starting from the procession of the conclave, but I choose the moment they shut the door, the secret meeting began. And look, this chart is quite interesting, and I think this chart has some significance. Okay, well, we know the sun is at the 17th Taurus and the moon at 22-degree Virgo. And we have Mars in Leo and in the 10th house. This is the moment. Okay, they close the door, beginning of the election. And remember, the new Pope, he choose the name Pope Leo. Okay, that the Mars in Leo opposite the Pluto. This is kind of a very interesting moment. And also, I think Moon is squared Jupiter. Moon is square exact few minutes away, exact square Jupiter. So there is a powerful Jupiter meaning there. Well, we know that Jupiter is a symbolized of a religion, but many astrologers, like for example, I also was thinking this Jupiter is in its detriment. Is that means this Pope may have some, defect, or maybe not strong, or maybe some morality issue. I don't know. We don't know yet, but it's very interesting. But it's a tight square. Maybe, well, this could be his mission to bring religion or social justice, bring the religion, the Jupiter, to Gemini everyday's life with language. Because in this chart, another part of this chart we can notice is that Mercury conjunct Chiron speak for the, people who want it, speak for those vulnerable people, or speak to them. Or in another way, speak to her that his word, his speech hurts them. Either way, to be honest, when we see Chiron, it's not just about healing the wound. It could bring the hurting too, but it's also adjust. But it's very interesting because they are conjunct at 24 and 25-degree Aries, and we have that Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini bring the philosophy, bring the those idea down to earth to the everyday's life and the square the moon. So it's quite interesting. When to be honest, when I first see this chart, I was a little bit concerned. There are two issues I was concerned. The first, moon in Virgo and square this detriment Jupiter. And the Jupiter is the ruler of a sixth house. So I was worried about its position. I was worried about its position, and I was worried about um, how powerful this new pop could be. Because also many of astrologers point out the chart ruler of this chart is Venus. And Venus in conjunct Neptune, well, it's kind of a love and a kind of a spread, is affection and care about everyone. But in Aries, so Venus is also in its detriment. So it's not a, powerful, great Venus and also in sixth house. All the signs suggest that this conclave process may going to give us a kind of a result that kind of a not very striking or not very powerful person. And yet, when yesterday when they revealed the new pope is come from the United States, and the information we know so far, he is kind of speaking for people. Although there is some speculation and about when he was the Cardinal of Peru, he is kind of covering the kind of scandal in the church, but the church itself deny it. Okay, I will avoid this bit. It could be okay. I will just put it aside. But also, I think early this year, there's some report about he's speaking for the people. He, talking about the Catholic is not a rank for love of Jesus or something. So it's quite interesting. He's more focused on the social justice and the care about other people. That is what we know so far. That is what we know so far. So this is a very interesting chart, but also I think Moon is at this 22-degree. It's not. I think it's kind of a trying the Sun and the Uranus. Although Sun and Uranus is not really conjunction, but the Moon is between them, and it's a try the Sun and try to Uranus. So it kind of bring the authority to the reform, revolution, and unique way. It's another, I think, a very gentle Uranus signature here. It's very, very gentle. So this is the chart of the moment, the conclave, and of course we already talked about the Mars in the 10th house, and the house of a winner, the house of leader, a Leo, a Mars, a kind of a pioneer or a kind of some people who push forward with a creative, with a leadership. Although he's facing the Pluto in the fourth house, that kind of those darkness or scandal or maybe the threat from the future. But he has to face it, isn't it? So this is quite interesting. Now, let me move to the chart of at least a new Pope himself. No. Before we do that, let's go to look the inauguration of the Leo XIV. Pretty interesting. We have the Mars is in the ninth house, but very close to the MC. So this signature of Mars Pluto still there, but Pluto, so Mars still on the still around the MC is quite interesting. However, the Sun and Uranus is closed, but in the seventh house, there's no angular planet in this chart, but we can see the Saturn and the Neptune and the Venus is in the fifth house, house of children, house of creativity, or some people say house of love or house of sex. Well, that could be a thing, an area of this new pop he going to focus on in his popsy. That means bring love to everyone, focus on children, or those a scandal. I don't know. Could be because Saturn is very close to Neptune. That means that Saturn Neptune conjunction would be his would be an important issue during his popsy. But what is Saturn Neptune? Saturn Neptune is kind of a make the dream in one way could make the dreams come true. Neptune is that great idea, those vision, and Saturn can in one way bring it down or tell you no, deny it. In another way, can help us to make these dreams come true carefully. Here we have Saturn conjunct Neptune and the Venus in the fifth house. So this could be the area of life. And people were thinking about the LGBTQ issue. I don't want to address too much there because expecting Roman Catholic to accept LGBTQ is a kind of mission to, landing on Mars, isn't it? So it's possible, but it would take a really long time. So that wait and see. I don't think even he is kind of a successor of the Pope Francis, and with a wholly very conservative, very traditional view of the church. I think the open to the LGBTQ are going to be important issue that they want to focus. But in another way, how about women's position in the church? This is another important issue, always been criticized in the Catholic Church because always, there's never has. Well, I shouldn't say it because if you see Conclave, you probably against me, the official female pope in the history. Yes, and there is a speculation there, or maybe historically, if you look at the conclave, but I say, but officially, pope is always male. So how about the women's position? Let's see, in this chart, the signature is very, very obviously. We have a Venus detriment in fifth house opposite the moon at a 5-degree Libra. Okay, this is a very, very interesting position. So Moon Venus opposition at the fifth house and the 11th house. I will say the conflict and the challenge definitely there. But these both planet is from the sextile, Venus sextile, Pluto and Moon trine Pluto. That means gradually, slowly, we are going to work it out. Okay, and with the kind of because this Pluto in the third house, so is it from the underneath, under Earth, from the underneath, or from the root to change the female position, to improve the woman's position in the church. That is what we can expect. And I think, come on, it's 21st century. Why there's only men and male can be the important figure in the Roman Catholic Church. This I never understand. But I'm no willing to challenge it. That's their own business. But I'm just describe that. Okay. So this is the chart when he was at inauguration, and then he's sworn in. So in the Vatican at the 713. Okay. Now, let's go to the chart of the Pope Leo itself. Notice here I give you noon chart because we don't know the time. We don't know the time, okay? But we know he was born on the 14th September 1955 in Chicago. Pretty interesting. I use the noon chart. So first ignore the ascendant MC and the house, and also the moon. We will have no idea where would be the moon. Well, let's say that if you look at this chart, the moon is just moved into 1 degree Virgo, and we know this is a noon chart. That means if he was born in the morning, early morning, okay, or still before sunrise on the 14th of September, he could have the moon in Leo and move between Jupiter and Pluto. But doesn't matter. Even he was born, after midday, his moon would be around the early degree Virgo and still could have kind of a wild Moon-Pluto conjunction. So one of the signature could be the Moon-Pluto conjunction, but that is kind of a very critical aspect because the moon is about emotion, about the feeling, about how we nurture ourselves. When it conjunct Pluto, it could suppress that, but it also kind of see the everyday's life as a crisis, as a challenge. That would be something worth us to pay attention. Another thing is quite interesting. We have this his sun at 21 degree Virgo and the conjunct Venus at 24 degree Virgo. Does this degree ring the bell? Of course, a lot of astrologers already noticed that. Not only from the inauguration chart, look the conclave moment. The moment Vatican starting the election of the new Pope, the moon was at 22 degree Virgo, right on his sun, and very close to Venus. And it's very interesting. Have you noticed another thing? Jupiter was on his south node. Jupiter was in her south node. So some people will say this is kind of a karmic imprint, karmic moment. I would say it's kind of to reveal what he truly believes South Node is on what we learned before, what we are familiar with. And so he's kind of expanding what he truly believes in his life and speak out in his prophecy. Okay, this is very interesting. And we also have the sun is trying, yes, trying his sun, and the Venus, of course, is trying the moon. So this is another moment, kind of a very powerful push forward. Another place we should notice is Pluto. Pluto at 3 degree Aquarius is conjunct his Chiron at 0 degree Aquarius. And we know 0 degree, because 0 degree Aquarius. Why? Okay, don't forget. We have in 2020 December, we have Jupiter Saturn conjunction at this degree. This is one of the technique. I think especially my dear friend Christine Skinner mentioned about that. Always remember that important cycle, the point of an important cycle, where they start, and does that conjunct any planet in your chart? So in this case, the recent Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is right on his Chiron. So what he going to bring to the world this moment is about social justice. It's about either cause the problem, hurt, cause the wound, or heal the wound. I hope would be more like heal the wound. Okay, but now Pluto is triggered because Pluto is moving around this degree for a long time. So it's about to Aquarius is a sign of our focus on our society, focus on our future. So not only Jupiter Saturn conjunction in 2020 conjunct is Chiron, but also Pluto at this moment is triggered that point. So it kind of invite him to really look into the deep of the wound of our society and then bring something out, especially this moment we have the Mars around here. And we also notice, yes, have you noticed that this he has in his chart, he has Chiron opposite Uranus, and Pluto is opposite his own Uranus too. So, what does that mean? Again, I do think these invite him. We know, according Melanie Reinhardt, sometimes Chiron's react could be polarized, all or nothing, full on or doing nothing, or doing the opposition. So when this means when Uranus opposite Chiron, he could be a revolutionary. He could be a pioneer to leading a revolution, but also could be no, change are not good. Revolution can cause harm, so we should not change at all. Nevertheless, with the wisdom we learn from Chiron, we know that we have to step in between, stay on the middle way. Okay, stay on the middle way. I know a lot of people hate the word of middle way. There's no compromise, there's no middle way. To be honest, my personal view is everyone are entitled to have their own opinion. So if we are going to coexist, unless we are everyone to be very open to accept each other and coexist. If not, we always have to find a middle way to dealing with other people. You may disagree with me, but what I see here when Chiron opposite Uranus is kind of in the middle way, kind of a compromise, kind of a finding the middle way of how to change the world and not hurt people too much. Also, this set of aspect is also kind of a square, from the T-square with his Neptune at 28-degree Libra. So it's with kindness, but it's also kind of very ambiguous. And it could bring a vision of like a healing the wound with revolution, or it could be kind of remember the wound and we're going to build up a beautiful world. Okay, it's quite interesting to see all this chart put together. Okay, this is I think quite interesting. And another thing, of course, that if I put it back of this chart, we notice apart from Moon maybe in Leo, he already has Uranus in Leo, Jupiter in Leo, Pluto in Leo. 3 outer planet in Leo is kind of a generation. Okay. Although these 3 planets are not really form a tight conjunction, but the 3 planets in Leo already tell us this person could be very creative, especially facing the, social issue, social justice, facing outer planet, about a generation issue. Okay, so and the 2 of planet are bring the freedom, release from the wound. So we have this kind of kind of a pioneer or open his heart to everyone with a creative way. This is what we can expect. Okay, so from my view, I think I noticed a lot of astrologer was like kind of he choose Leo, but that's only Moon could be Leo, but the Sun is not in Leo, but on this, it's kind of where is Leo energy come from? I think, a person who has 3 outer planets in Leo still count as, something, a powerful influence. What if Jupiter is really his chart ruler? Okay, or MC ruler? That could be something else, right? So he chose the Leo as a section of the previous Pope Leo XIII. We don't know the reason. We don't know the reason why he chose the Leo as his Pope name, but it's quite interesting. The tradition is kind of they choose the previous Pope's name to remind themselves what they want to bring to the church. And I do a quick research about the Pope Leo XIII, who was elected in 1878, and he been remembered as a Pope who was dedicated to social policy and the social justice. Wow, well done. I think maybe this could be the reason. This could be the reason. But for astrologer, I think he has three outer planets in Leo already speaking quite a lot, especially Jupiter, the planet related to how we develop a society and ideal and the religion. Okay, there is Jupiter in Leo, the king of religion, a pope, right? But Uranus in Leo also tell us he probably going to move forward to carry out some reform or some kind of a slightly change of the church. I don't expect he's going to do too much, okay? Another thing I want to share with you is that he has the Neptune sextile Pluto. Have you noticed here? Neptune was 26 degree and the Pluto was 27-degree Leo. So they kind of sextile each other. This generation, people who were born in 1950s, they are the beginning of current Neptune Pluto sextile in this current cycle. So pretty interesting. Do you know we are still under the same aspect influence? 70 years. Wow. This set of aspect beginning from 1950. And then it kind of move away during the 1980s. Then we and then they catch up from couple years ago, just right from couple years ago. And then it will continue to form the Neptune Pluto sextile until 2032, then move on toward to square. So it is a reminder us the generation meaning of Neptune Pluto was conjunct in the late 19th century. During that time, that would be focused on the development of a psychology, mysticism, and also like kind of our view of universe from outside and inside. From inside, focus on the spiritual and the psychology. From outside, how we see the universe are changed. We are no longer see us as like of course, one thing is about the Earth's center of the universe that was already changed, and then are we the only human being? And how we see, for example, Planck's quantum theory, and then Einstein is starting to his research. How we see the world are changing during this time. This is the first sextile we are seeing. So it's kind of invite us to apply what we learn about the inner, about our spiritual life, about our psychology learning, about how we see the world. It's going to have something to do with it. So a person who has this imprint in his chart, and this we know this is the longest cycle if we use the Pluto and the Neptune, because the whole cycle is lasts 450 something. It's quite long. So there's no wonder this sextile can last this long, nearly 70 years still in the sextile. And so it will continue for another, how many? 7 years. So this is what we're going to experience. And under his guideline, under his prophecy, he help us, or he accompany us to witness or experience this Neptune sextile Pluto. What we can see, well, maybe it's a Neptune is the vision or fantasy, and the Pluto would be like to rediscover, to unearth, or to kind of build it up with our willpower. Okay, so this is the chart we see in here. Another technique I like to share with you, because usually if I don't have the person's chart in the let me say about the birth time, I usually like to look the fixed stars technique. Why? With Benedict Brady developed the Paran fixed stars technique. We no longer need exact birth time. We only need the birthplace, and then we can see the 24 hours from the sunrise to sunrise. How the planet form their, parent, and also the idea of the heliacal rising on the day he born and the heliacal setting on the day he born can give us a, big picture. So here we are. I'm going to share his fixed star report here. And feel free, you know, to share what do you think? Okay, what do you think about his chart? And don't forget, come back next week because we have our mundane astrology discussion next week. Okay, now let's focus on fixed stars. The first you will notice, ignore the rigel on the angle at that moment because I use the midday, so ignore it. But we will notice that he has a heliacal rising as the Alphard. This stars located at the Hydra constellation, so it's a snake. Well, Benedict Brady tells us it's related to intense emotion, raw emotion, and the focus of passion of our life. It is very interesting. Yes, if you think about Hydra, ignore the Greek mythology talking about either Hercules killer Hydra or the story of the Apollo punish the raven with the snake and carry the water away. The original of this constellation can date back to Babylonian time, and we all know that in the Babylonian creation mythology, Tiamat is kind of a female goddess as a huge dragon or serpent type goddess created the world, and she is also the goddess of salt water, seawater. Well, the story is a little bit like Gaia and Mary the Olanus holy story. So the complicated story about the power struggle and fight between the younger generation of God with the Tiamat. Eventually, Jupiter at that time the Marduk as equally the Jupiter in the Roman and the Greek mythology, leading the other god, kill Tiamat, use her body to create the world. So the alpha is a heart of serpent. The heart of serpent, yes, if we think about the serpent or snake, it's a powerful vitality. And the heart of serpent is that kind of a passion and the kind of a it's kind of a powerhouse. It's kind of a powerhouse focus on life itself. When here I talk about the life itself, it's not about the society. I would say, think about nature. It's not a gardening you're doing. Okay, it's not go for a walk in a nice, beautiful countryside or park. It's jungle. It's jungle itself. In this place, everything have only one goal, one aim. It's to survive. Okay, survive by helping each other, or survive by killing each other, or only get nutrition on my own and grow up. So the heart of serpent, I agree with Benedict Brad, is related to intense passion and intense emotion. I would say this intense emotion is more related to the survival issue. Okay, somehow it's more related to the survival and the deep those collective unconsciousness deep buried in our the underneath part of a brain, um that kind of animal instinct and how we survive. This is how I interpret it. You don't need to agree with me. Well, for this star, Ptolemy say it has the nature of a Saturn and Venus. Okay, so your interpretation can also go to Saturn, Venus. Vivian Robson says it gives wisdom, musical, artistic appreciation, knowledge of a human nature. Okay, this is his interpretation based on Saturn, Venus. And it sounds quite good. And the strong passion, lack of self-control or immorality. Well, if you go to tell him that immorality, because I think it's very interesting. We should keep an eye on it. This could be an issue because from the conclave and it always jump out, but I'm not sure is this stars always related to immorality. I will link it into the, you know, animal instinct and the very, very raw passion of life itself. I want to survive, and that's it. Okay. Um, let's see his setting is a Saturn Malik. Well, this is the star in the Aquarius. Okay, this is a star in Aquarius, water bear. And this star, particularly this star, is on the Aquarius shoulder. Well, I don't know which one, left or right. It should be right shoulder, where they carry the water cannon. Okay, water. So is where the Aquarius bury the water tank. So it could be the means such as the water come out from this water barrel. And the basic meaning of this star could be, um, inheritance and past knowledge or experience on. It could be educational to teach other, to share his knowledge and wisdom with other people. Okay, so this combination tell us his vision. The vision come to this world is more alpha. The background of his mission is care about the life itself, about the life, how life struggle, about the powerful emotion. Okay, but how is going to fulfill this mission with the Saturn Lake, this planet, and these stars related to kind of a share the wisdom and share the information with other people and educational. Even here, Brady, right? A confident person, interesting, a confident person with good network. Well, it could be, it could be. Without that, how could he become a pope, right? However, we're going to share something. First, have you seen this fixed star report? Quite interesting. You have a Vega, very bright star with Jupiter. And we also have Old Barnum with Jupiter. We remember this. This is one of the royal star. Okay, no matter what you say, which indicate the success, abundance, but with integrity. So it's kind of a focus on our goal and bring the abundance into our life related to his Jupiter, the planet related to the religion, but with integrity, honesty. Okay, we also have a miracle, very very nice and the female and the very gentle, good in social life star related to Jupiter. So this planet was from his childhood. I quite like seeing the commating because it's probably his prime. So I say from now then, he has Capella Paran with the sun in the commating. So the powerful influence, don't forget this Capella, these stars, is in Auriga and symbolize the little goat on the goddess shoulder. Okay, can she protect the protection of little goat, but also means the little tiny goat can do a huge things. So look, it could be, kind of bring the protection power, or kind of something can surprise us. Okay. Nevertheless, have you noticed formal parent with Mars? So this is another stars with knowledge, and parent with his Mars with his action. Oh my God! Have you seen Regulus parent with the Moon? Wow! Now how many we already look? We already have Aldebaran parent with Jupiter. We have Homoho parent with Mars. We have Regulus parent with the Moon. Now what we need? We need Antares. And then have you noticed here? We have Antares parent with Jupiter again. Ouch. To be honest, it is a very rare occasion I see, oh, there's a four royal star pairing in one person's chart. Usually we see one, we were like, oh my God, mom, I got, out the bottom pairing with my son or something. But here we have four planets with four personal, three personal planets with one social planet, Jupiter. And have you noticed quite a lot of the stars pairing with his Jupiter? Vega pairing with Jupiter, Aldebaran pairing with Jupiter, Mirac pairing with Jupiter, and then we have here Antares pairing with Jupiter and South Sul, Lucky of Lucky pairing with, and also, wow, Ceres pairing with Venus. Oh my God, Ceres is the dog star, most bright star in the sky, and also it usually suggests is like in the ancient time is the Venus goddess Inanna's arrow and the parallel with Venus in the setting. Okay, that's the wow. I think it is kind of a very interesting pattern. What do you say? Very powerful, especially a lot of a combination with Jupiter. So no matter the single out this Jupiter power, we already see it from the parent and in the early age of Vega, Aldebaran, Mirac, and then Antares, and eventually also has like think the another Jupiter is South Sul. Okay, no wonder this person has the chance to become a pope. I don't know. So far, it's just second that he become a pope. We still don't have his exact birth time. So remember, if you like fixed stars, fixed star is a very, very good tool to help you to build up a framework about a person. With his chart, even we don't have the exact birth time, we only need exact birthplace. Okay. So this is interesting. I will go back to double check because I'm wondering if I make any mistake. I don't know why. But seeing this person, the Pope Leo XIV, has so many bright star pairing with his Jupiter. Well, and then four royal star also pairing with his Sun, Moon, Mars, and Jupiter. I wonder if I make any mistake. I will go to check. Okay, I will go check if it is right. I'll continue. But if it's wrong, I'm probably going to fix it and come back again. Well, finally, last things I'm going to share with you. It was quite interesting. It's my passion to work with astromap. So we know he was born in Chicago. So I like this. So the beginning of an election, is there any planet on the angle in the Chicago? Okay, because that means related to this election, like this conclave, with the person from here. So let's go to check. Let me share. Wait a minute. Um, Let me create a map first. Okay. Yes, and then share it. Yeah, looks like we have. Oh yes. Have you noticed here? This is the map created based on the conclave, on the close meeting, the election of the new pope. And we have, what is this line? Ouch. We have Pluto line, Pluto descendant line, pop, pass right through Pluto descendant line, pass right through Chicago. Well, this is interesting. There's a lot of things we don't know. I don't want to be a kind of a conspiracy believer, but there's something tricky here. I don't know. I don't want to say this is present tricky, but there's something, some secret that we don't know exists in this chart. And another thing, let's look is relationship with Peru. I think I really want to invite my dear colleague Anna Andrade next week to talk about it because Pope Leo XIV used to be the cardinal of Peru. And so I think the Mercury and the Chiron, the wanted children or the wanted language or healing language was very close to Lima. Okay, so maybe there's some story will comes out from there. Okay, well, so this is the a kind of fun to look the few different chart and with fixed star technique and the astro map technique. What I like, I don't have time to prepare too much things, and especially from tonight, this evening, we start the conference in Portugal in the Vila Nova de Gaia near the Porto. So many of my friends, Louisa Senko, Leanne, and then Margaret Great, and my dear mentor, Carol Taylor, and also Wendy Stacy will be here. So we're going to have fun, and we're going to share our knowledge and teaching here. Don't forget that on the 7th of June, um, Christine Skinner going to teach the midpoint technique in the Academy of Astrology. If you are interested, please come to visit our website and enroll your position. Okay. Well, wish you have a nice weekend, and see you next week with all my uh, Mundane Astrology team, the Worldscope Mundane Astrology team coming back, and we're definitely going to talk about new Pope too. Okay, well, see you next week. Bye bye.